Hey everybody, this is Craig from 9V Games, and today we are doing a review for Red Faction Armageddon on the Xbox 360 from THQ, Volition, and Sci-Fi Games. Normally I don't do intros before reviews, but I'm doing it because this game is getting the shit kicked out of it on Metacritic. It's not, but some people still seem to think that just because Metacritic it's in the yellow means it's a bad game, and that does not mean what it means. Wait. Scratch that. It is not what it means. There we go. I'm doing the intro because it's getting beat badly on Metacritic, and that's because people are comparing it to Red Faction Guerrilla. I have not played Red Faction Guerrilla. In fact, the only reason I bought this is because we played the demo at PAX. They were having a Ruin competition, and I thought it looked great, so I wanted to play it. So this is your review without it being compared to another game, which I don't feel like they should do because the two games are actually vastly different in the way that they are played. So, without further ado, I'm going to edit that out. Here goes the review.
Okay, hello everybody. What you are looking at right now is Red Faction Armageddon being played on the Xbox 360. Due to the fact that I don't want to give any spoilers away, I'm not going to be showing the story mode or the campaign mode. Instead, what I'll be doing is I'll be doing Ruin mode, which is actually the mode that they let people play at PAX East this year. Okay, let's get this underway. As I said before, I did not actually play Guerrilla, so you can discount this if you want, but I noticed that this game has been getting beat up in reviews on Metacritic, which is a piece of shit anyways. If you follow that, shame on you. It puts good games in bad places. That's an argument for a different time. Anyways, so Red Faction Armageddon. Honestly, the story I think it's a little interesting. It's pretty throwaway. It's generic, good guy A with a smart mouth needs to find and defeat bad guy B, who sends out hordes of an alien race from the underground of Mars to destroy cities. And the game is kind of presented in a Gears of War style, so that's kind of like that's like Gears of War, really. It's just not on that epic scale of Gears of War. So I can see where people are coming from that. It's a pretty cut and dry third-person, over-the-shoulder perspective shooter. Now, what sets this game apart from games such as Gears of War is that there's no dramatic set pieces. Really, you create the dramatic set pieces. You can have one enemy, little tiny enemy coming at you, and you can sink a whole building on top of them. To me, I think that's pretty fucking cool. I don't know. And obviously, the destructive environments is what has propelled this game on. I did play the original PS2 ones, and I think the game is great for what it is. I don't think it should be discounted as being, a generic shooter in that sense. I know I said it is, but it's basically, do you like destruction? Do you like causing mayhem? Then if you do, this is your game. Maybe not worth the $60 price, but when it goes down in price, I think $40 would be perfect price for this game. But also, once again, you got to take into account the developer that's making it. THQ, in my experience with games, THQ has kind of really been a lower company, only really known for making wrestling games. Okay, and then they made Saints Row. Obviously they made Red Faction first. But their games are slowly starting to go up. Offered from their last fairs, which is, Homefront, and I feel bad for everybody at Chaos Studios because they closed today. This is a step up. This game is fun. The parts where you can climb into your mech suit is pretty awesome. The destruction's great. The graphics are actually pretty decent. Some areas they're pretty bad, but that's what you can expect from That's what you can expect from a game that has so much destruction going around. You can't expect, super fantastic graphics because of, it would be processing issues with crazy textures and shit flying around all the time. Character models are pretty good. Monsters are made amazingly. Surprisingly, I think the monster ones look great. The main criticism about this game that I've seen online is the fact that it is not an open world game. I'm going to address that right now and say games like this where you have a sandbox scenario where you can make the world, in this case, take down the world the way that you want it to be and then rebuild it back up, which you can do in this game. I think it's better when it is linear, because if you're given that freedom, you won't complete the game, because you're going to end up going off and be like, you know what, I don't give a crap about this story mode. I'm going to go destroy the city. And next thing you know, you're turning the game on for 10 to 20 minutes at a time, only doing that, and you're not actually completing anything. You won't get the sense of completion from the game that you will if it's linear. So in my not professional opinion, I do believe that the game benefits from being linear. The only downside to it being linear is the game is relatively short. Yeah, it definitely is. But I mean, think about the games that you get nowadays that are over-the-shoulder, shooters. You get about 8 hours out of it. So that's just the campaign mode. There are other modes. Infestation, which is another, you can say it's a ripoff from Gears of War, or Horde mode. Infestation, it gives you 5 or 6 levels that you can complete 30 waves of enemies coming at you, with all the weapons at your disposal. And then there's the Ruin mode, which is the mode that you're watching right now and the mode that we played at PAX. And to me, it is the most fun part of the game. I do enjoy the fact that with me doing the site, I don't get a crap ton of time. I don't know why I censored that. I don't get a ton of time to play games like I used to with the work and all. But the fact that I can jump on and I can play 4 or 5 Ruin modes is pretty cool. It definitely gets that competitive edge going when you get that sense of accomplishment that you completed a high score, and then you go on the leaderboards and realize that your high score ain't shit. So you got to get back in there, and you got to find better ways and better combos to take things down. And to me, that actually adds a lot of replayability, assuming that other people are on the same page as you and just want to keep improving. The best asset of this game, I believe, are the weapons that you can use to destroy the world. You got your pulse cannon, and you got your charge mines, your charge launcher actually. And then you get your standard dual pistols, automatic rifles. The best weapon in the game to me is the magnet gun, because you can shoot it at the top of a building, and if you get it just right and shoot it on the ground, you'll pull that whole building down in one shot. And that to me makes the game great. It's wacky, it's out there. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of explanation needed. Like I said, I didn't play Guerrilla, and I jumped into Armageddon, and I feel like I know what's going on. There was enough, whatever. The only real two complaints I have with the game is that it is generic and repetitive. It falls victim to things that most other third-person shooters do when you're in the single player. Obviously, it's repetitive in Ruin mode because that's the purpose of it, and it's repetitive in Infestation mode because that is the purpose of it. And what was the other complaint? I don't even know. You know what? The game is built so well with the gunplay. It doesn't feel like it's broken. It feels very familiar to you, especially if you played Gears of War. I think actually if you played a game like Gears of War, you have the edge of this. That's the other complaint. The balancing issues with the fairness in single player is kind of crazy. I mean, there's some points where the game is just so easy that you're kind of just trudging along being like, what the hell am I going to do, This is starting to get boring. And then all of a sudden you get so overwhelmed, like one particular part where you have to keep building up your barriers using your nanoforge, which helps you rebuild things. And you're just getting assaulted. You don't even have time. You don't know what the hell's going on. You run out of ammo. And then it's back to the slow pace again. But other than the pacing and difficulty, I think that the graphics are decent. I don't really go for graphics when I'm looking for a good game, but it is an added bonus. The graphics are decent, especially for a THQ game and a game that has such destructible environments. The story is pretty throwaway. This is where it's going to get points off. It's pretty uninspired. It's unoriginal, but it's enough to carry you through the single player. The voice acting is pretty good for this kind of a caliber game, I have no complaints with it. It doesn't sound like anybody was hired and didn't want to be there. The main character could shut the fuck up a lot more. He does talk way too much. He doesn't shut up, sort of like me. So I guess the relatability is there. Replayability, if you like challenging yourself, like I said, the infestation mode, if you have friends who want to play the infestation mode with you, it's not local multiplayer, but online, if you have other friends who buy the game, that could be tons of fun. And then the ruin mode. So replayability is moderately high. I just stole that from Game Informer. They gave it a mediocre score, and they said that it was moderately low for replayability, but I just don't think that anybody at Game Informer is a real gamer anyways. I hope they are listening to this. But, yeah, so with all that being said, once again, I'll reiterate, I think the price of this game would be better set at $40. I do think it is a good game, however, and it shouldn't be discounted because of other people's reviews. I'm sure with all the games that are coming out in the next couple months, you take into account, you got your Duke Nukem. If you were to pit it up against Duke Nukem, I honestly can't say right now. But if there's a bigger game that you want that's coming out, I would say probably spring for that one and wait for the price to drop on this one. If you have the money to burn, get the game. I can guarantee you won't be disappointed with it if you're like-minded like us at 9 Volt Games. So I'll just go ahead. I'll give this game 3.5 stars out of 5 because I feel like it could have used some improvements, although I'm happy with it overall. Okay, thank you guys for listening. Have a good one.